So I've got the song Suburban Solutions pulled up here. I just recently moved from LA back to Virginia, and my wife and I had a son, and I was just feeling very much like, oh, like what, like what has my life become? Because it was just such like a different experience being back here. It kind of started almost like a play on that. That was something that was really fun about this track, is that like singing from the perspective of basically like a corporate entity or something. Like it just felt like this different kind of thing. And this song was pretty much kind of started and based around a synth bass track that I lay down. And so I got a new synth a couple years ago. It's this British company, UDO, and it's called a Super 6. One of the stock presets is this bass sound that's just so amazing. And I kind of wanted to build a whole song around this particular sound. Yeah, basically I programmed this bass line. It was like pretty fun. I was like, okay, this is cool. I've got this very like synth pop bass line. And so from there it was really, it seemed kind of obvious to me to just kind of go with these super 80s sounding drums. So I built up again this kind of like programmed drum track. A little bit Italo disco, yeah. A little bit like Human League or something. I've made a lot of tracks like this. Yeah, I haven't released a lot of music that sounded quite like this. So sort of like unabashedly 80s synth pop. This one felt like taking it a step further even. I had this pad, which I think that was the Super 6 as well. Kind of like borderline cheesy, honestly, but I've always really liked the idea of kind of trying to utilize taboo sounds, especially taboo synth sounds, and do it in a way that feels cool. So I was messing around a lot with this Korg M1. Like breathy sounds, and then the Roland D50 is a really similar one. It has these really kind of like plucky sounds that I like quite a lot. Then you pull in this pad. So that's like the beginning of our song. So I wanted to introduce some more organic elements, so that's when the guitar came in. Again, like super 80s vibe. So just playing, this is the guitar that I've had basically since I was a kid, since I was like 15 years old or something. And it's always the first guitar that I pick up. I use this for about 95% of the guitar that I record. It creates this really rhythmic feel. It's called a dotted delay. And then I wanted to add like another guitar part, so I stole something from myself that I originally stole from The Edge. It's like a very like U2 thing. But I used it on a song of mine called Nocturne before. From there, I started feeling like I had a song. And in the back of my head, I'll always kind of be, like humming these little melodies, or the melodies will be starting to form. I'll get kind of scratch vocals in there just as placeholders until I have like a nice bed. I feel like I don't even really bother trying to lay anything down. But then usually that's the last step for me, is I'll spend kind of a long time just like tracking the vocals by myself or doing it on my own. It's like I feel like I can get into a different sort of headspace. For me, it's the most daunting part of recording. It's not uncommon for me to track the vocals like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's the thing that I feel like I found myself having to work the hardest for. At this point, I was kind of like, okay, this song is just sort of like full-on synth pop. I'm a huge fan of this guy, Thomas Dolby. People know him from She Blinded Me with Science.
She blinded me
He just has a way of really going for it. Wanted to mirror that a little bit with what I was doing vocally in the chorus. Like I stacked these like really big layers of my own vocals and did it again over here with this take a big bite, and then I like pitch shifted everything down, which creates this really sort of like hooky but also comical moment. And then again, by kind of like creating this choir, you know, like I got my wife Donna and my friend Molly Birch to kind of stack a million vocals on this end and as much as you can fit, kind of create this like faux choir. Come to the end, put up your feet, come to the end, come to the end. As much as you can fit, come to the end, put up your feet. And I think the idea by this point of the process of the song was just like really, really leaning into it and kind of like not being afraid to just kind of like embrace the characteristics of this song that felt a little silly.